Good evening. This is the Phoenix Union High School District Governing Board meeting for August 6th, 2026.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Item 3D, motion to adjourn the special meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn the special meeting? Is there a second?
Second.
A motion to adjourn has been made by Board Member Cross and seconded by Board Member Napa. On the motion, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourned. The regular meeting is called to order. Will the secretary please note that all board members are present with the exception of Cruz Apodaca Flores. Please note that today's meeting is being live streamed. We also provide Spanish interpreting services available at the side of the room. Tech team, can we get the translation?
Si necesita intérprete en español, favor de mirar a nuestro intérprete que se encuentra a un lado del cuarto. Gracias.
The first item on the agenda is 1C, Pledge of Allegiance, and a moment of silence. Please stand as I lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody, and please be seated. The next item on the agenda is 1D, Land Acknowledgement Statement. Please remain seated while Clerk Meyer reads the PXU Land Acknowledgement Statement.
The Phoenix Union High School District is responsible for and committed to creating educational environments that prioritize the achievements of Native American students. We are committed to making their cultural identity visible by acknowledging that our school district resides upon the ancestral lands of the original caretakers, the Huhukam, ancestors of the Akimel Otham, Ankimel Otham, Tono Otham, and Akchin. These sovereign nations are presently known as the Gila River Indian Community, Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian Community, Tono Odoham Nation, and Akchin Indian Community. This formal acknowledgement is dedicated to the 22 sovereign nations of Arizona. Phoenix Union understands the importance of providing reparations through truth-telling. We recognize the historical injustices not traditionally taught in the classroom and are committed to practice prioritizing Native American knowledge, history, representation, and healing. We commit with an open mind to always respect the land, its histories, and its ancestors.
Thank you, Clerk Meyer, and welcome back, everybody. I hope you all had a great summer. The next item on the agenda is 2A, Recognitions and Accomplishments. Tonight, we proudly celebrate the employees and students who go above and beyond every day while also honoring outstanding achievement. Member Napa, will you please read tonight's first celebration?
Good evening. Tonight we have some truly special awards to present to one of our students of the year, as well as the one incredible staff and campuses. Our first honor tonight is for our students of the year. Natalie Mendez Hernandez from Bioscience is unable to attend because she is providing care for her younger sisters. We do have Xavier Juarez from Metro Tech High School in attendance this evening. And we're very excited to share some of his story. When asked about Xavier, his principal, Ms. Wright, shared that Xavier represents the well-rounded leader we strive to develop at Metro Tech High School. Throughout his time at Metro, Xavier has always looked for all ways to serve. He is the historian for the junior class and recently stepped into the role of sustainability officer. In addition, he is the historian in Mecha, where he highlights cultural awareness and student involvement. As a Knight peer leader, he supports advisory sessions by sharing information about academic opportunities and ways students can accelerate their learning. Xavier is also a Metro mentor, providing guidance and encouragement to younger students as they navigate high school. What stands out most is his dedication to others. Xavier is active in Best Buddies and Special Olympics, where he creates inclusive environments where everyone can feel truly accepted, valued, and appreciated for their gifts, regardless of any special needs they may have. Xavier is an excellent student, peer, friend, and someone all of Metro Tech High School is proud of. Join us as we honor and congratulate Xavier Juarez from Metro Tech High School for being named one of the Phoenix Union's 2026 Students of the Year. Congratulations.
Congrats, Xavier. I'm gonna need you to look out for my freshmen, all right? I got like 19 former 8th graders starting over there. I will read the next celebration. I'm excited to begin this section by celebrating our Classified Employee of the Year, Mr. J.D. Ellis from Cactus Canyon High School. Mr. Ellis' services reaches far beyond his title. He is described as a problem solver, encourager, helper, and steady presence on campus. With professionalism, patience, and a genuine smile, he builds authentic relationships and makes people feel seen, supported, and valued. In addition, he is great at his job. Mr. Ellis helps students get to class, assists with safety, sets up for events, cleans up after everyone has gone home, troubleshoots AV needs, and supports all coaches and student athletes with anything they may need. What makes him special goes far beyond his role. When a student needs something to participate in sports, like cleats, socks, knee braces, gloves, or other essentials, Mr. Ellis quickly finds a way to help, never for recognition, but because every student deserves to feel like a champion. It is my privilege to honor Mr. J.D. Ellis from Cactus Canyon High School for being named the 2026 Phoenix Union High School District Educational Support Professional of the Year. Clerk Meyer, will you please read the next celebration?
Our next award is for Administrator of the Year from Maryville High School, Ms. Nini Sotelo. Being a Phoenix Union administrator is not easy, and this administrator was nominated by 6 different individuals in the district for their steadiness, warmth, and leadership. Ms. Sotelo takes the time to build camaraderie on her campus, while also ensuring that she knows every staff member names, but more importantly, she wants to know their story. She is a listener who is described as someone who takes the time to see the best in everyone. She puts her team in a position to succeed based on the strengths of everyone. Another strength of this leader is her availability, because regardless of her personal workload, she will stop and take the time to meet, listen, and problem solve with staff. This leader has been steady throughout and has continued to put her students and staff first. Being described by her staff as, quote, the real deal, it is my honor to recognize Ms. Nini Sotelo from Maryville High School as the 2026 Phoenix Union School District Administrator of the Year. And I want to add a personal note. I first met Ms. Sotelo last year in September, so just 1 month into her new role as principal. And as we walked around the halls, I was really impressed by how staff members came and just casually talked to her, students were greeting her. Like, it was a warmth that I hadn't seen so quickly in someone's like new role. So I'm thoroughly impressed. I believe everything that they said about you in this, in their nominations.
Congratulations. Member Oliver, will you please read the next celebration?
All right, we close out our Employees of the Year with our Certified Employee of the Year, Ms. Kathleen Espericueta from the Academies at South Mountain. And they put your name in here several times to see if I can actually say it. So Ms. Espericueta is a person who reaches nearly every part of the school community. She is someone everyone turns to when there is a need for guidance, and is someone who helps our teachers perform at their best by providing steady communication with a smile and a kind demeanor. One of the clearest examples of her service is how she supports campus-wide systems without losing sight of individual students and staff. This person is a consistent presence during passing periods and works directly with students on their attendance and discipline while reinforcing expectations with calm consistency. She volunteers to support our advanced weapons detection system and is always willing to help in any way possible. When others may say, "That's not my job," she says, "How can she help?" Ms. Espericueta does not do her work from a distance. She is in the classrooms, in the conversations, in the logistics, in the hallways, and what separates her is that she does this work with positivity and compassion for others. Last time, it's an honor to celebrate Ms. Kathleen Espericueta from the Academies of South Mountain for earning the 2026 Certified Employee of the Year.
Great job, Member Oliver, and congratulations. Member Cross, will you please read the next celebration?
Our next two awards are the large and small school academic achievement. We will start with our large school winner, Metro Tech High School. Metro Tech results reflect that it is possible when a school community works together around a shared commitment to student success. Across measures of achievement, engagement, persistence, and college readiness, Metro consistently demonstrates excellence and sets a standard for others to follow. Its students and staff create a culture where high expectations were paired with strong support, leading to expectations outcomes across multiple indicators. The evidence of success is remarkable. Last year, they achieved an outstanding 99% graduation rate. Wow. With maintaining a zero dropout rate. Oh man, I love it. Students remain engaged in their learning, posting a 97% retention rate and a 99% credit current rate. And one of the district's lowest averages of absentee rates at 4%. Oh. Metro Tech also led its peers in college readiness measures, earning top results in ACT participation, pre-ACT participation, Aspire participation, ACT reading proficiency, ACT math proficiency, and both reading and math pre-ACT proficiencies. These accomplishments reflect not only academic excellence, but a deep commitment to ensuring every student is prepared for success beyond high school, for demonstrating exceptional achievement, fostering a culture of excellence, and delivering outstanding results for students across nearly every measure of success. It is my honor to present the Comprehensive School Academic Achievement Award to Metro Tech High School. Yes! And I do get to say I taught there for 22 years, so.
Metro Tech is representing tonight. Representative Marquez, will you please read the next celebration?
Our next award recognizes Desiderata, whose impact extends far beyond its size. Desiderata created an environment where students are challenged, supported, and inspired to achieve at the highest levels. Through a relentless focus on learning, student engagement, and continuous improvement, they have demonstrated that excellence is defined by outcomes. The results speak for themselves. Students achieved a 100% participation rate on Aspire assessments and 100% pre-ACT participation rates, ensuring every student had opportunities to demonstrate growth and readiness. They led its peer group in reading growth from pre-ACT to ACT and posted top performances in both reading and math assessment participation. These accomplishments reflect a school community that is deeply committed to helping students stay engaged, make progress, and achieve their goals. For its unwavering commitment to student success, its impressive improvement in academic outcomes, and its dedication to creating opportunities for every learner to thrive, it is my privilege to present the Small School Academic Achievement Award to Desiderata. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Desiderata. Board Member Napa, your award's being representing tonight. To close out our recognitions this evening, Phoenix Union would like to congratulate Juan Viveros, who recently graduated from Metro Tech High School. Juan placed first at the Skills USA National Conference in the Internet of Things Smart Home category. Juan, equipped with his own tools, had to set up various devices from a smart home, doing all the wiring and mounting himself. He is mainly self-taught, but credits the computer maintenance and cybersecurity as well as the sophomore development CTE programs at Metro Tech for supporting his skill set. In the fall, he'll attend Carleton College in Minnesota to study computer science. He hopes to have a career as a repair technician because he loves working with hardware. Please join us in congratulating Juan on this outstanding achievement and wishing him continued success in his future endeavors. Congratulations, Juan. Of course, of course. As a tech team, take some time real quick to set up. I just want to offer my congratulations again to all the teachers, faculty, staff, school leaders for all the celebrations tonight. It is a reflection of each and every one of your dedication, leadership, and love that you have for the Phoenix Union community. So let's give one more round of applause. Congratulations, everybody. The next item is 3A, reports from employee organizations. Our representatives reporting tonight are Mr. Esteban Fleming, CTA President, Ms. Anastasia Jimenez, CEA President, and Mrs. Vanessa Casillas, ADA President. First up to begin will be Mr. Esteban Fleming.
Moving quick today. All right. Good evening, President Pastor Rivera, Superintendent Andrade, governing board members. I want to welcome back everyone to the from the community and staff in attendance here and virtually to the 2026-2027 school year, which seems wild. Right. I'm Esteban Fleming, president of the Phoenix Union CTA, and I stand before you representing over our 900 certified employees. And I'm proud to stand here, obviously, as a Phoenix Union alumni and employee, entering my 23rd year here in the district. I know, I never thought that would happen. Yeah, right? And it's nice to see you all since we were here last week, but here we are to kick off the year, and I know this year we had a whole lot of changes and new ideas, and we're really excited about that. As we start the year, I'm really excited. Every year as I've been president, I've tried to give myself a theme or vibe to sort of go through, and this year is, mine is what is your why? Like, so what are you doing and why are you here? And if you can't say that clearly, then you should really pause on what you're doing. But this year, even though I'm not on campus welcoming the lovely ninth graders, which I always thought was great watching freshmen come on campus, I love seeing our staff engage with each other who haven't seen each other in a few months. They miss each other, they miss the stories, the conversations. But I personally this year have enjoyed welcoming the new teachers and educators to Phoenix Union, even though this year was a little weird because I had 4 former students who are entering education here in Phoenix Union High School District. So in the new teacher orientation, they came over like, it's Mr. Flemings, but can I call you Mr. Flemings? That's what we're going to do right now. So that was a great experience, but having 4 this year was a lot, and it just made me sort of realize those 23 years, how much of an impact you can make, that someone who's now an adult remembers you and comes back over to say something. And so that really meant a lot to me as I think about what we're going to go through this year. And I think about what does it take for, for teachers and educators to be on all of our sites, the excitement, but also the stress that we have this year. And when we talk about like the new organization chart and how we're planning to re-engage the district and our community, it gives me hope because I know that we are all stressing about enrollment. We are all stressing, we all have concerns, but working with leadership and looking at the plans, it's been really helpful and insightful and promising to go like, there are ideas and we're going to try some stuff. And I know that not everything will work, but the ability to go and collaborate with all employee groups to say, hey, we're going to try some new stuff and can we all work together and we'll celebrate successes together and then we will also work through the struggles together is really important, and it's not something that a lot of other districts have. As I talk to my other fellow presidents around the state, they're struggling at the beginning of the year and they're being left in the dark. So I really appreciate the collaborative nature of not only this board, but all of the leadership as well. But with that said, there's been a lot of great work on campuses with administration and our members. I know we're always struggling with balancing classes and leveling things, but I will give a shout out to the administrative teams. They've been really receptive to some of the communications I put out this year and helping them be in line with our unit chairs on site. So I think we're off to a really great start. Teachers are doing great. But obviously it's been 3 days, so I don't have a props person up here yet. So we'll have someone up here for September, maybe too, because there's a lot of great things that have been going on campuses, but I just don't have nominations yet. But with that said, I appreciate you all. CTA is always here to work with people who are here to support our students. And thank you, and have a great evening, and let's go. Yes, Board Member Meyer.
And Mr. Flemings, you were also my IB director at North High School, so it's always funny to see you up here.
Yes, I know. It always feels weird that you're my boss, technically. It's strange. But thank you all. Have a great evening.
Next presenter is Ms. Anastasia Jimenez, CEA President.
Hey, everybody. I just want to say how refreshing it is just to see the different styles of our associations and how they present. So I'm always a little more scripted, but just know I take my time. So, okay. Well, good evening, Phoenix Union, and welcome back. Thank you, Superintendent Andrade, governing board members, PXU leadership, staff, students, and our sibling associations for having us here tonight and for joining us either here in the room or at home virtually. A special shout out and thank you to all of those who wore their CEA blues for the first Thursday of the opening of schools, standing in solidarity with our local, state, and our national associations and doubling down on the importance of being seen as a proud union member. As we begin this school year, I've spent much time reflecting over the summer on how I can show up, advocate, and represent my constituents, my colleagues, and my district to the best of my abilities in such a time of hardship and constraint, locally and nationally. I've been overwhelmed with the amount of grief education support professionals have shared with me. Last school year, as we know, all employee groups were impacted by our reduction in force. However, and this may be a bit biased to me, but our ESPs have been through the ringer, and that's kind of putting it lightly. And as expected, our ESPs are feeling the weight, the pressure, and the results of our RIF. Thankfully, many of our ESPs were placed, pursued, or obtained an alternative position within Phoenix Union. So therefore they remain, but this often leaves the feeling of what's next, who's next, and how are we going to get through this? These intense feelings of anxiety, not only from our ESPs, but that I've also received from our certificated and administrative groups, are beginning to paint a broader picture throughout the district. With this year's theme of challenge accepted, many feel that they've accepted enough. However, as I've challenged myself, I'm going to challenge you all as educators, regardless of employee classification, to dig deeper. And this often means to lean on one another, lead with an open mind, with curiosity, and with kindness. It also means being willing to learn from one another. One of our greatest strengths in Phoenix Union is the wealth of knowledge, the expertise, and the professional development opportunities available to us. Whether it's district-sponsored training, association-led learning, campus-based support, or simply learning from a colleague down the hall, we all have opportunities to grow our skills and strengthen our practice. I encourage you all to embrace that growth mindset and recognize that everyone can teach you something. As we navigate these new roles, changing expectations and ongoing challenges, I encourage everyone to lean heavily into those professional development resources and take advantage of every opportunity to learn. Not because everyone expects us to know and have all the answers, but because growth happens when we invest in ourselves and in one another. In a world saturated by do-it-yourself, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, hustle culture mindsets, and which I've been guilty of too, I believe we're enabling a culture of isolation. And isolation is the death of community. And if isolation is the death of community, then connection is its lifeline. The reality is that none of us can shoulder these challenges alone. Not our teachers, not our administrators, not our support staff, not our students, not any of you all. But public education has always been built on the idea that when individuals come together around a common purpose, we can accomplish what none of us could achieve independently. So when I think about our theme, Challenge Accepted, I choose to view it as not a burden placed upon us, but as a commitment. A commitment to check in on the colleague who seems overwhelmed. A commitment to offer grace when patience is running thin. A commitment to listen before we judge. To collaborate before we divide, and to support before we criticize. Because the challenges facing our district are real. The budget constraints, the staffing shortages, the uncertainty many continue to feel is very real. But so is the strength, right? Our resilience, our dedication from the people who choose to serve Phoenix Union every single day. I've witnessed that resilience firsthand. I've seen ESPs step into new roles, learn new responsibilities, and continue showing up for students despite personal uncertainty. I've seen staff members supporting one another through difficult transitions, and I've seen a community that refuses to give up on its mission, even when circumstances make that mission harder to achieve. As we begin this new school year, my hope is that we remember that community is not built during easy times, right? Community is revealed through very difficult times. So tonight I challenge all of us to accept the challenge together, to lead with empathy, to extend kindness freely, to continue finding solutions collaboratively, and most importantly, remember that every employee group, every campus, every department, and every student is part of the same Phoenix Union family. When we choose community over isolation, cooperation over division, and hope over fear, there is no challenge that we cannot face together. Remember to be kind to yourselves, believe in your power, breathe, and take time to feed your soul. Thank you, Phoenix Union, and I wish everyone a successful, healthy, and fulfilling year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next presenter is Mrs. Vanessa Casillas, ADA President.
Good evening, Superintendent Andrade, President Pastor Rivera, and esteemed members of the Governing Board. On behalf of the Phoenix Union Administrators Association, thank you for the opportunity to speak with you this evening. We have officially kicked off the 26-27 school year, and there's an incredible sense of excitement across our district. This year has brought many changes with new leadership teams, new campus models, and administrators stepping into new roles. While change always comes with challenges, our administrators have embraced them with professionalism, resilience, and unwavering commitment to do what's best for students and staff. We're looking forward to a great school year. This school year, we would like to follow in the footsteps of our CTA colleagues by taking a few moments during our board comments to recognize some of the amazing administrators who make a difference every single day. Our administrators often work behind the scenes, and we want to make sure their dedication and leadership are celebrated. First, we would like to recognize Amy Steinbugel, the new principal at Desiderata. Amy has demonstrated steadfast leadership, a willingness to collaborate, and a genuine heart for student success. She leads with kindness, purpose, and an unwavering commitment to her school and community. Next, we'd like to recognize Ms. Ileana Dahl, assistant principal at Camelback High School. Many of us have known Ileana for her incredible work as an assistant principal for student support. In her new role, she has embraced every opportunity to learn and grow while continuing to lead with what has always made her special: strong relationships, compassion, and genuine care for every individual student. She truly exemplifies what servant leadership looks like. We would also like to recognize Ms. Angela Rodriguez, the new principal at Camelback High School. Angela has brought a calm, confident presence to her new role and provided her staff with a sense of stability and direction. She has stepped into leadership seamlessly, and her team has embraced her vision and followed her lead. Finally, we would like to congratulate Ms. Nini Sotelo, principal at Maryvale High School, on being named Administrator of the Year during her very first year as principal. What an incredible accomplishment and a true reflection of her dedication, leadership, and commitment to her students, staff, and school community. Congratulations, Nini, on this well-deserved honor. Before we close, we would like to acknowledge the positive impact of the new Regional Executive Director model. As campuses have navigated the many changes that naturally come with the beginning of a new school year, the support provided by our regional executive directors has been exceptional. We have heard nothing but positive feedback from administrators across the district. Their accessibility, collaboration, and willingness to support campus leaders have made a meaningful difference, and we truly appreciate the district's investment in strengthening support for our schools. To all of our administrators across Phoenix Union, thank you for your leadership, your heart, and your commitment to our students and staff. We also want to thank the governing board and district leadership for your continued partnership and support. We look forward to recognizing many more of our outstanding administrators throughout the school year. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Board Member Oliver.
President Pastor Rivera, fellow board members, Superintendent Andrade, and administration. I just want to say this. In my other role during the day, I call it my sugar daddy because he pays my mortgage. I work for a faith-based operation, and we start every meeting with what's called a reflection. And what it does, it's like a mindfulness minute, and it centers us and lets us know what our purpose is. Mr. Flemings, Ms. Casillas, and Ms. Jimenez, thank you. You do that for me every board meeting. You center me and remind me why we're here. And I'm sure my fellow board members appreciate everything you say, even if it's tough. We need to reflect and be mindful of the reason we're here. So I appreciate you and thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, maybe. Thank you, everybody. The next item on the agenda is for a call to the public. Tech team, can we please get the audio?
According to ARS 38-431.01H, at the conclusion of the call to the public, members of the public body may respond to criticism made by those who address the public body, may ask the staff to review a matter, or may ask that a matter be put on a future agenda. However, members may not discuss or take legal action on matters raised during an open call to the public unless the matters are properly noticed for discussion and legal action. I would like to caution members of the audience about commenting on a particular individual and to thank you for not referring to any person by name. In order to avoid any concerns with interpretation services, please be aware of the following. We have a Spanish interpreter available to join you at the podium while you address the governing board. Only the PXU assigned interpreter will provide interpretation services. If you have a script on paper or on a device, we ask that you make it available for the interpreter. In order to provide accurate interpreting, we ask that you speak for approximately 2 to 3 sentences at a time and pause for interpreting. You will be given double the amount of time to address the governing board as a result. As usual, we ask that you end your comments when your official time allotment has ended.
Para evitar dificultades con los servicios de intérprete, tenga en cuenta lo siguiente. Tenemos un intérprete de español disponible para acompañarlo mientras se dirige a la mesa directiva. Solo el intérprete asignado por el distrito proveerá servicios de interpretación. Si tiene un mensaje en papel o electrónicamente, le pedimos que lo ponga a disposición del intérprete. Para brindar una interpretación precisa, le pedimos que hable aproximadamente de 2 a 3 oraciones a la vez y que haga una pausa para el intérprete. Como resultado, se le dará el doble de tiempo para dirigirse a la mesa directiva. Como de costumbre, le pedimos que finalice sus comentarios cuando termine su tiempo asignado. Gracias por su cooperación.
So I stand corrected. We have a surprise for you guys. There's no public comment. Hey, that's you guys celebrating. Thank you for celebrating. You know, wink, wink. The next item is 5A, approval of consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda
So
as
moved.
presented?
Oh,
You go ahead, Clerk Meyer.
I'd like to pull item 10CC.
10CC, perfect. Is there any other pulling of the consent agenda item? Perfect. A motion to approve, or excuse me, there has been a motion to approve the consent agenda item without 10CC as presented. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion to approve the consent agenda item as presented with the exception of 10CC has been made by Board Member Oliver and seconded by Clerk Meyer. On the motion, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Representative Marquez?
Aye.
Aye, myself. Motion carries. All right, let's go back to 10CC.
For this motion, or for this agenda item, I would like to motion approval with the component of adding student feedback to the end of each program duration. I know standard practice for Phoenix Union is already that we do typically include student feedback for a lot of programs, but having it added to the IGA would ensure that both parties can continue doing that and tailor topics for student interest and to measure effectiveness of this program. And given that this is a 5-year contract and can be renewed for another term, it ensures that we're doing this feedback collection past our terms. Yeah.
Thank you, Clerk Meyer, for bringing that up to our attention.
Is that a motion? Second.
Well, hang on 1 second. I think, did you have something to say, Member Napa?
Yeah, I just have a question. Is this like a program that is,
I'm so sorry to interrupt. President Pastor Rivera, you have a motion. You need a second before you go into discussion,
okay, I
please.
see, okay. So a
Thank you.
motion has been made by Clerk Meyer to approve 10CC with student feedback. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, so a motion has been made by Clerk Meyer and seconded by Representative Marquez. My apologies.
okay, thank you. Little confusion on program versus being taught in class, being taught in class. So I'm wondering when it's being taught and what the achievement outcomes, how is achievement going to be measured?
President Pastor, members of the board, Member Napa, this is not in our curriculum. This is an after-school voluntary sign-up opportunity for our students to learn more about the Office of Accountability and Transparency, learn more about their individual rights, what is lawful, what is not. They actually submit student interest forms to design the curriculum based on what they're curious and learning about. It would be no surprise that last year ICE was a topic because they wanted to know where the police's role was in all that and understanding it a little bit more. There's also a huge restorative justice piece that talks about when things go wrong in the law, right? And how people can be wrongfully incarcerated and what that looks like. This is all based on student interest to sign up for the cohort. It's about twice a week and it lasts about 6 weeks. And at this point, the formal evaluation of it, while it's not an achievement-based, comes in the form of metrics around how confident you feel about interacting with law enforcement after this program. How did you feel about the guest speakers, giving feedback on that? What is something you learned? And we're kind of evaluating if that's, got some meat to it. And then how would you improve it for future participants? I would say it's still a fairly new program. Of course, they started in Phoenix Union last year at South Mountain, and we're going to be expanding to Carl Hayden and Maryville this year, so it's still very much in its infancy. But from everything I have experienced, students can earn their diploma seals in civic engagement. They can put it on their college application. And overall, so far, we've only done one cohort, but it's been successful based on the feedback. But again, I think Clerk Meyer's comment to bring more feedback and have its way up to the board will help us determine if it's a worthwhile program to have after school. And I hope that addresses your questions.
I'll also note too, so back in, I want to say, was it May, I believe, right? I had a meeting with the Office of Accountability and Transparency, and I think a very important note about this program is the curriculum of this program, whatever you want to call it, the teaching material is very fluid and adaptable, meaning it can be engineered and customized to align with what serves the campus or district needs. once it goes back through the student feedback. So I think that's just a very important note that if a student, for instance, if a group of students want to, say for instance, study more on civic education, that program can be customized for that need. If a student or a group of students want to do financial literacy, that program can be customized for that need. So I think that's just a very important note about this. Any further questions, comments, or discussions? Perfect. So a motion has been made to approve 10CC with student feedback by Clerk Meyer and seconded by Representative Marquez. On the motion, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right. The next item is 6A, Superintendent's Report. Ms. Andrade, please provide your report at this time.
Thank you. Good evening, President Pastor Rivera, members of the board, and our community. Tonight, I am proud to open my report celebrating almost end of the first week of school, 4 days. On Monday, we welcomed nearly 23,000 students to Phoenix Union, and I'm so proud of our staff for ensuring that our campuses were ready for day one. Later, you'll hear about all the preparations we did to ensure students were ready, or we were ready for students. They were ready for us. It's been a fun week for students. I saw staff greeting students at the gate, classrooms, cafeterias, all over campus. Every campus I visited was filled with smiles, good mornings, fist bumps, hugs that haven't seen them from the summer, and just some really great energy. I want to thank all of our ESPs, our certified staff, and our administrators for launching such a successful first week. And a special thanks to our Link Crew teachers and Link Crew students. You went above and beyond on Monday for our freshmen, and you will continue to. You showed up as leaders in your own community. We're very proud of you. Great job.
Wait, those are two of my students right there.
Oh, yeah?
Two of my students are right there in the picture.
Always about your students. Okay.
I'm proud of them. I'm proud of them.
I know you are. I'm teasing you. Okay, our next slide celebrates a summer event that I've attended each year as the superintendent. It's really one of my favorites, and might I add, it's one of the rowdiest and most excited crowds I've witnessed, which is our summer graduation ceremony. This year, we celebrated nearly 100 students who came to celebrate their graduation with us and their families and friends. These students, they're the definition of resilience, and they have incredible stories of overcoming many personal and academic obstacles to reach that graduation stage. So I want to extend a warm congratulations to our Phoenix Union summer grads. We're proud of you. As you know, board, we like to celebrate when our employees make the jump from ESP to certified or the administrator rank classification. And tonight, we congratulate Ms. Brianna Lopez on earning the role of paralegal. Moving from an assistant to general counsel to her new role as district administrator. Congratulations, our alumni, Ms. Brianna Lopez. All right, this next slide, I'm going to ask Tracy Dunbar to please stand and be recognized. I see you, Tracy. I'm so excited this evening to celebrate Miss Tracy Dunbar, who was recently named the interim principal at Linda Abril Education Academy. Ms. Dunbar has the heart and soul needed for the Linda Abril community, and she brings an incredible energy and enthusiasm for our students who need it the most. I'm so excited you're in this role. I'm excited to see you progress this year, and I appreciate more than anything you stepping up for our students in this new principal role. It's like you've done it all along. So thank you, Ms. Dunbar. Next, I want to welcome our new visual and performing arts content specialist, Ms. Kimberly Wiley. She's not here yet. She'll be joining from out of state in a .6 position to provide educational support for our students and staff across the district in visual and performing arts. Teachers who gathered for Curriculum Day were excited to hear the announcement of her arrival next Friday, August 21st. But before that, we're going ahead of it and welcoming Ms. Wiley to Phoenix Union. Our next story is a really cool one for the Alhambra girls basketball team. So this summer, they were adopted by Phoenix Mercury. This was great for our student athletes. They got to shoot hoops with the Mercury during their practice and hear from their star player, Alyssa Thomas. In addition, they also received tickets to the games throughout the season and were provided with new equipment. With Kelsey Blum coming to the team, sorry, those games should be a lot of fun. I want to thank Phoenix Mercury for supporting our Alhambra girls basketball team. Okay. Our next story highlights a summer program where Phoenix Union had over 30 students participate in Anytown Summer Leadership Camp, focused on developing tomorrow's leaders and community change makers. Delegates earned up to 50 hours of community service while engaged in meaningful conversations, building relationships, and taking part in traditional camp activities like field day and dance night. In order to ensure the cost wasn't a barrier, our students attended for just $25, which included their transportation, meals, lodging, and the full week-long experience. I want to give a special shout out to Sophie from Central, Fernando from Metro, Yana from Camelback, and Robert from Alhambra for truly representing Phoenix Union. I loved reading your testimonials, and I think it was one of them. I want to say it was Sophie. I can't. She said she'd rather go to Anytown than anywhere else in the world. And I thought, what a tribute to Anytown. Anyway, congratulations to our students, and a big thank you to Anytown for always supporting Phoenix Union. Next up, we have two Linda Abril teachers who have been awarded the UL Institute and ASU Mary Lou Fulton Teachers College Explore Lab Educator Fellowship for 26-27 school year. This is a prestigious honor for Mr. Shagan Wang and Ms. Jolita Burunde. The Explore Labs Fellowship focuses on safety science and sustainability in education. In addition to leadership opportunities on the national stage, as part of the fellowship, our teachers received a $2,500 honorarium and the full cost of travel, lodging, per diem, and more to a summer conference on science safety this past summer. Huge congratulations to Mr. Wang and Ms. Burunde for earning this incredible opportunity and for representing Phoenix Union. All right, our next story is meaningful to me. It's about an Academies at South Mountain softball player, Alexia Ramirez. So we learned over the summer, not because she told us, because we learned over the summer that she holds the 6A batting average and on-base percentage records for the entire state of Arizona. There's more. She's a student at bioscience who plays softball at the Academies at South Mountain. Her coach shared with us that she's a wonderful softball player, but an even better person. I had a chance to talk with Alexia. She is part of the college-going superintendent service corps that came together before the start of school to do college applications, and she has dreams of going to UPenn. She's been playing ball since she was 6 years old, and she's currently the pitcher, as if she doesn't have enough stress. She's just an amazing athlete, but she's also an amazing scholar. I want to extend congratulations to Alexia and thank you for representing the Academies at South Mountain, bioscience in Phoenix Union in incredible ways on and off the field. And in closing this evening, I want to wish Ms. Carly Bacha luck as she enters the final stages of Arizona Education Foundation's Teacher of the Year award process. Tomorrow morning, she will join the other 5 finalists from across the state to learn if she will be crowned the winner. And I will be right there alongside her as a special guest to cheer her on no matter what the outcome is. We're so proud of her being named in the top 5 teachers in the state of Arizona. Congratulations, Ms. Bacha. I will see you tomorrow morning bright and early. And with that, I hand it back over to Mr. President Pastor Rivera.
Thank you, Superintendent. At the request of my colleagues, let's take a 10-minute break for right now. So definitely, if we could get the timer started, we'll be back in 10 minutes. Signa, Debbie, it's time. Is that a balloon? Debbie, Debbie.
Yeah, it was in the presentation and then we took it out.
Just for one more time. Debbie. All right. The next item is 7A, the 2026-2027 launch of school. Superintendent Andrade.
Here we go. President Pastor, members of the board, minus member Cross. Oh, she's back. Okay, you're here. I want to open tonight by thanking all of our employees that came together to make sure we had a successful launch of 26-27 school year. So whether you served in summer school, did curriculum writing, helped improve our facilities, was a presenter or a trainer in some way, helped with onboarding, food service and meal prep, registration event, or hey, registration in general, that whole office. It's been a heavy lift to ensure that we are at our best and ready to serve nearly 23,000 students and families, and I sincerely appreciate and recognize the collaborative effort. So let's jump in. All right, enrollment, as predicted, nobody panic, as predicted, it continues to dip just in certain communities across the district, impacting our total numbers, about 1,900 below last year's start, and we did plan for this. Our staff ratios, though, have stayed on trend with enrollment, which is a really good sign. The students are in red and the staff are in, I think it's black. So you can see now we're more in line than we were before. And again, this was all projected and predicted in last year's budget sessions. And finally, let's go ahead and look at it by grade level. You know, interestingly enough, it's not jumping out at any one grade level in particular. It's spread pretty evenly. I would have guessed it might have been the 9th grade, but truly, we're actually down more sophomores than we are down freshmen. So sophomores and seniors. Maybe we're graduating too many, I don't know. But only down 414 ninth graders, which is a good sign if we can keep them all 4 years. But again, we will continue to monitor those trends. So let's go ahead and look at staffing numbers of our nearly 3,000 employees across 3 job categories. You see our totals, but our vacancies show areas of need. For certified, it's no surprise that it's primarily in ESS and in math, and a splattering in small other areas, but ESS and math tend to be the 2 biggest areas we're short. For ESPs, you got food service, transportation, seems to be a continuing theme across all districts, and of course, safety. Hopefully, though, we can level that off with the actual numbers that are on each campus and really get to that right fit for staffing ratios. It looks pretty close. In fact, we just may not even need to hire those vacancies, and that will take care of any budget capacity there. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. D'Alba for some much more exciting summer work news around our facilities. Some of this work is still in progress, as maybe you know if it's your campus, and some of it's been completed. So with that said, Dr. D'Alba.
Thank you. President Pastor Rivera, Clerk Meyer, Superintendent Andrade, and Phoenix Union Community. Today I'll share a brief overview of the work done by the Finance and Facilities team to ensure schools are ready to receive students, staff, and teachers. Every year, the district finance team works with sites and divisions to close out the fiscal year, make sure invoices are paid, and prepare for the following fiscal year. Whether the team is working diligently to add new budgets, pushing through purchase orders for last-minute subscriptions for the start of school, processing payroll for new and returning employees, or preparing to serve breakfast, lunch for students, it goes without saying that summer is one of the busiest times for our division. I'd also like to recognize our facilities and construction teams who worked hard to make sure our schools and facilities are ready to go before school started. This year, our facilities team collectively worked approximately 40,000 hours, a rough estimate, to prepare schools, only resting for a few days for the 4th of July. In addition to normal tasks, summer tasks include deep cleaning, decluttering, repairing issues that cannot be repaired while school is in session, and maintaining grounds. Before school started, the facilities teams already responded to multiple vehicles crashing into gates or fences, repairing various cooling systems, and replacing glass windows due to break-ins. Thank you, Billy, our glazier, for getting special order glass quicker than usual before students arrive on campus. Again, thank you to Finance and Facilities for all the work that you do. On this slide, in preparation for the beginning of the year, the team also worked on about 60 summer projects ranging from athletic field renovations to restrooms, lighting, painting, and much more. Overall, the team has ongoing projects at 13 sites, at least one at each comprehensive high school. We want to thank our schools for their patience and collaborations as projects are completed at each site. We'll give you another update for our October bond meeting. To highlight a few projects, here's Camelback, which is a front office renovation to ensure secure entryways in the school, and it also has an ongoing field renovation. Highlighting some other projects at Fairfax, we have a couple of renovations. Yes, it's a playground. It's not for the high school students. It's for our preschool. Fairfax also had some classrooms retrofitted in order to prepare for the academies. And then we have the auditorium at South that had some ADA compliance that was repaired or made compliant, and then kind of a new inside facelift, let's say, for Alhambra office. I also wanted to highlight the work that the team has been doing at Cactus Canyon. This is part of the renaming projects that are ongoing. The image shows the gym flooring, which was done at the beginning of the summer. Also at Cactus Canyon, we're almost complete with the outdoor eating space, where students can eat, socialize with friends, and do other fun activities in a restaurant-style venue. The outdoor eating space is expected to be completed this fall. This slide includes a few of the images at Metro Tech, highlighting floral and childcare, only two of the many classrooms that were renovated. Metro Tech, which has been an ongoing project that feels like it's never ending, is on phase 3 of 5, which is expected to start in January, phase 5. The Metro Tech renovation includes robust CTE and classroom areas, front office renovations, field gym renovations, and a cafeteria renovation. This has been an extensive process, and I want to take a moment to recognize Ms. Shauna Wright and her staff. For the flexibility and nimbleness. As with any renovation, it can be time-consuming, frustrating. Their flexibility has allowed them to be able to move quickly from one space that's going to be renovated into a place that was potentially already renovated, and then back to a different place. And so they've been very accommodating of our team, and we greatly appreciate the work that with Ms. Wright's leadership. Metro Tech is scheduled to be completed hopefully by the beginning of next year, and we will be done, completely done. Driving in tonight, you may have noticed that we've made quick progress on the CEE parking structure. The parking structure is expected to be completed by fall break at the latest, and will include about 240 spots, and it also has an elevator, as you can see. Also, 4520 Central is also completed. 4520 houses PXU City Digital and the Engagement Center. This slide shows the 5th and 6th floor, which is PXU City and Digital, with flexible furniture and work areas for teachers. This is an image of 4520 Engagement Center, where community partners will have touchdown areas to provide much needed support to our students and their families. The space provides areas for workshops and other community resource fairs for our families and students. I want to thank all our campuses and sites for their flexibility and collaboration through this process. It is long and tedious when you have a construction project on your site. As a reminder, these expenditures are paid using bond funding, which is a voter-approved measure for capital expenditures, not for salaries, and are a small preview of our presentation in October, where we will share all the work that has been completed with bond dollars so far. Thank you, PXU families and taxpayers, for your continued support in helping us maintain and renovate our old facilities. Our students, teachers, and staff greatly appreciate your support in public education. And with that, I turn it over to Dr. Allen.
Thank you, President Pastor Rivera, governing board members. Part of our preparedness this summer to get ready for the launch of school was training and professional development, which focused on safety. In addition to our annual safety academy, we provided development to all administrators, all new certified and classified employees. Teams had the benefit of hearing from a nationally recognized keynote speaker, Jesus Villahermosa, as well as received training for our Centegix badges, CPI, which are de-escalation strategies, emergency response, some culture climate work, as well as our AWDS protocols. As you heard back in June, and you'll hear a little bit more tonight, given our approach to safety includes multiple layers. Not only did we emphasize training, but we also spent summer months updating our emergency response plans, evacuation route signage. We tested the PAs, the intercoms, the cameras, necessary repairs were done, and we made sure that our physical perimeters were safe and secure for the start of our school year. Switching gears to transportation, you can see some of our staffing information. This year, we welcomed back 94 drivers, aides, and trainees. We have 10 more PXU drivers than we did last year at this time, which means we have less contracted drivers. So that is a good thing. We still do have vacancies, though, but you can see we do have people in the pipeline who are waiting interviews, and they should be onboarded soon. As with the hiring of new PXU drivers, again, the goal is to decrease our reliance on contracted services. So you can see that our fleet information still shows that we have 91 PXU buses, but we're only able to use 64, and that's because we need more drivers. And so we are working hard to make sure that that happens, and thank you for supporting the increase in pay last year. We also have 1,400 new parents using the Traversa app, where you can register your child, you have access to the route and the stop information, you can see the estimated arrival time of the buses, and then they have real-time GPS. So it's a great tool for families, proud to see that almost 4,000 of them are using it, and we continue to outreach to support schools in helping the community and families sign up for that. And now Ms. Tejas is going to take us through a little more professional development and what happened over the summer to prepare us.
Well, good evening, President Pastor Rivera, board members, and thank you, Dr. Allen. Can we say welcome to the class of 2030? We are so excited about our freshmen. Board, as you know, our focus is on freshman launch, and that begins with a summer academy experience that runs concurrently with summer school. And continuing in July, we have orientation so that students can learn the layouts of their new school, how to access a variety of services and support. And our link crews, you heard Ms. Andrade mention these earlier, these are upperclassmen who engage with the freshmen in fun school spirit building and welcoming activities. If you think kind of like pep assembly meets game show, that's the vibe on the campus. It's a lot of fun. This week on Monday, our freshmen had their own start to school where they got to meet with those link crew leaders, the campus administrators, their teachers, their freshman house coordinators, and best of all, they got to start with just themselves, only the freshmen, and then later in the morning, the upperclassmen came. So this allowed them to figure out their schedules, where are they traveling between buildings, ask questions of those link crew members, and also, just so you know, they're going to be engaging very soon in club rushes because we know that connected piece is super important. So lots of opportunities for students to try something new, and we're excited about that. As you heard, our staff has been also hard at work prepping for the start of school. Every employee group, classified, certified, and administrators received professional development that will help them grow their skills, their knowledge, as well as be more prepared to welcome and support our students and our staff, and most of all, each other. Our teacher teams reviewed core standards, refined our guaranteed and viable curriculum. They used that feedback that teachers gave last spring to do that. We also hosted our annual induction experience for certified and classified employees. Those are new to the district or joined us late last year. We saw a lot of collaboration between departments and divisions and putting these trainings together for our staff. You also heard a little bit about the safety training from Dr. Allen. We offered also lots of training for other classified groups. In fact, this year, we hosted our first annual training for all administrative assistants to campus administrators as we're embracing a new model and all the related systems for addressing student behaviors with referrals and interventions. And speaking of interventions, hats off to our Student and Family Services Division for a successful kickoff this year, with staff focused on new learning systems, best practices, and a large number of roles that really support student interventions and those wraparound services. You heard a little bit about this from Dr. D'Alba. Our engagement center is officially in their new location next door, and they're really excited about continuing to offer students and families need-based services, including workshops, school supplies, food boxes, and as they continue to offer that space, as you heard, community partners will be able to engage with our families right then and there. We thank to our multiple campus teams, including liaisons, counselors, social workers, interventionists, and so many more who compassionately serve our community every day. Here you'll see we had the opportunity for a few of our campuses to host back-to-school resource fairs. So we see some at Carl Hayden, also Linderbrill was great to host with the Engagement Center this year. Our families were invited to come and receive free goods and services to help with those back-to-school expenses, including school supplies, snacks, backpacks, connections again to different resources, even haircuts and sports physicals on that day. And again, board, as you know, when our students feel connected to their campuses, they thrive on a whole other level. And we want to thank you this evening for approving the Rank 1 sole source contract that allows our student athletes to participate in sports. We also want to recognize the efforts of our coaches and our sponsors who dedicated time over the summer to provide opportunities through summer leagues, like you see for Cactus Canyon Volleyball or Maryville Boys Basketball. They took a trip out to San Diego. Our coaches and sponsors are incredible, and we're excited to see the ways that our students are going to grow and compete and explore new opportunities and adventures this year. And with that, we conclude our report on Launch of Schools, and happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, colleagues? Perfect. The next item is 7B, Advanced Weapons Detection System 2025-2026 update. Superintendent Andrade.
All right. As promised, we finished a full year of advanced weapon detection, and so here tonight to talk about the system, what we've learned, and some of the protocols that we've learned to share with you is our Executive Director now over safety, Mr. Richard Franco, and Ms. Vanessa Casillas, the Director of Campus and Campus Safety and all that. I don't know. It's a fancy title. Okay. With that said, I will let them jump right in. Thank you.
Thank you, and good evening, President Pastor Rivera, members of the board, Superintendent Andrade, and community. As shared, my name is Richard Franco. I'm the Executive Director of Marketing, Communications, and Safety. I'm joined by Ms. Vanessa Casillas, who's our Director of Site Safety, Health Services, and Emergency Management. Yes, that's the title. Our department and division falls under the purview of Dr. Althea Allen, our Chief Operations Officer, and who's not sitting with us at the table but plays a critical role in our work is Mr. Chris Rhodes, our Director of Campus and Community Safety. This evening, the purpose of our presentation is to give you all a year in review of the AWDS systems that were launched in 25-26. So the focus of this presentation is on the 25-26 school year. As we go through it, we're going to talk about the rollout and goals for the system, the launch, what daily operations look like, what screenings are versus searches, and some data points on what was stopped at our gates utilizing these systems. We'll end the presentation with lessons learned and improvements that we put in place for the 26-27 school year. So some of the key goals, as you heard back in June from Dr. Allen and Ms. Casillas, AWDS is one additional layer that we have in addition to our already robust systems. Some of those other systems include our campus safety teams, our student support systems, which are our counselors, social workers, school psychologists, extensive wraparound services. We also handle our threat assessment protocols. As you approved last week, the IGA with the City of Phoenix, which allowed us to utilize the Arizona Department of Education Safety Grant for SROs and SSOs this year. Community partnerships, and I would say one of the most important layers is our staff that create relationships with students every single day, and whenever they see something, they say something. In addition to some of those, that key goal of adding that additional layer, we really wanted a proactive safety screening process during the day and during after-school events. It's important for us to have early detection as well as a visible deterrent for firearms, and that's what this system was put in place for. Through that, we've also wanted to make sure that we have efficient entry for students to make sure that they understand the protocols and can get in school quickly, especially in the hotter months. And then we want to make sure that we always have consistency across all campuses. For the 2025-26 launch, again, looking back to last year, we started in July with different trainings for our staff focused on making sure that they understood the system. So that was with our safety teams as well as our campus administrators. We brought in GXC, who's the parent company that created the detection systems, and they worked alongside our staff to make sure that the launch was smooth, that the systems were operational and functioning correctly as we rolled out the systems. We also handled proactive communication with families. That included parent square messaging to let families know that it was coming and what to expect. And we also had social media videos that were put out to ensure that students could see step by step what they would experience. And then we have perimeter signage. So anytime somebody comes to campus, they'll know that our detection systems are in operation and that that's something they would participate in whenever they enter the school. And so with that, I would like to hand it over to Ms. Vanessa Casillas, once again our Director of Site Safety, Health Services, and Emergency Management, to continue this presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Franco.
Oh, here, you can use mine if it's...
I turned it on, it's not working. Thank you, Mr. Franco. The AWDS systems are set up daily for all students in the community to enter the campus. There's at least one system set up prior to the beginning of 0 hour, as there are less students that have 0 hour entering the campus. The remaining systems and entrances are set up at least 30 minutes prior to first period. Our systems are monitored by safety teams in the administration, and there's also other staff that volunteer and have been trained to support the AWDS system. We always keep one system up and functioning. Usually it's in the front office, but some campuses have other locations. Once all the other systems shut down, typically about 30 minutes after the first period bell rings, everyone will enter through that area so that it helps with the campus and the community. Our AWDS is set up at all after-school events, including sporting events such as football, our dances such as homecoming, proms, etc., and also at graduation. This is so that we can ensure consistency across our campuses and across all of our events. The screening process. So our typical morning screening process is very simple and quick. Typically, we have staff welcoming the students there, and they're reminding them to remove their laptops and to remove any nuisance items that they may have in their bags, such as binders, umbrellas, hard glass eye cases, that kind of stuff. And what happens, this is a primary screening process. The students come in, they remove their laptop, they hand it to the safety or staff member, and any nuisance items that they have, they walk through the system, and the safety or staff member hands them back their laptop or their nuisance items. If there is no alert, the student is able just to walk and go on to their destination. If there is an alert, then they are sent to the secondary screening station. The secondary screening station is Typically, a little bit further down, it's another set of AWDS that's set up along with the table, and the students hand their backpack to the safety or staff member that's there, and they go through the system on their own while the safety staff member just looks through their bag. They do a quick search, but they do a thorough search. They check all the pockets, all the areas, just to make sure they check for weight, that kind of stuff, to make sure that there's nothing in that bag. In the beginning of the year, if some of you have gone to campuses, you've seen that at that secondary search station, you see that they take items out and they give them back their backpack and say, go back through the system again. They do that so that it eventually makes the system a little bit more efficient, and the kids know exactly what they need to take out of their bag that is causing that. Sometimes it's an umbrella, sometimes it's a metal mirror. It can be anything like that. I know that when I've been on campuses, a lot of times what happens a lot is that the girls' makeup and their eyelash curler, right? It's a combination of all the things. So I always say, throw it in a Ziploc bag, hand it with your computer. It makes it easier as the system goes through so that you don't have to get stopped. If there is something prohibited in their bag, or if they alert when they go through the system alone, the student is then escorted to the administration office for a secondary search. It's important to note that the primary screening, and secondary search are all different procedures. Escorting the student to the administration office continues to preserve their dignity and respect of the student, and the secondary search is conducted with a handheld wand, as well as they get a thorough search of their bag again so they can determine what items are in there. Let me see. So here is the data. Here you see the data of the average secondary search screenings and the average of secondary searches. We average approximately 1,900 secondary screenings per month across the district, which is 5 per day per campus on average. That number continued to drop as students became aware of the nuisance items in their bags, such as the binders, the eyeglass cases, those types of things. The average of secondary searches, which is when they get taken back, is approximately 97 per month across the district. It's important to note that the secondary search does not always result in discipline, and the average of 97 per month is extremely low compared to our population size and the amount of students that go through that process. What you are looking at is data for the items that never made it past our gate and were stopped at the AWDS system. It's important to note that this is only a portion of the data, and it does not include substance-related items that were caught as well. Our focus is not discipline, it is prevention, intervention, and accountability as we move forward with this. As you can see on the screen, there was one firearm that was found this year, and it was stopped before it entered our campus at the AWDS system. We do expect to see the numbers continue to decline over time, and that's something that we see throughout the year. As this was our first year, we learned a lot. We saw and learned that it is frickin' hot outside. Man, and this week alone was terrible. But the first week that we implemented it in that first semester, that first quarter, we learned that weather is brutal. So now we have shade structures, and we have cooling fans provided at all AWDS safety points. What we know is that we have approximately 20 to 30 students per minute that go through one system consistently, and that minimizes the wait time, so there is little to no wait time as students go through our systems. This will continue to be a layer of our safety systems moving forward, and we'll continue to focus on interventions and support for students. We've also continued to train all staff, safety staff, and staff that are at the AWDS to ensure that they're following the same protocols and procedures. And we also do spot checks and internal audits regularly. And as we are there, we retrain and remind regularly as we're there if we see anything that's out of the procedures that we would normally follow. Any questions?
Colleagues? Board Member Cross, and then Clerk Meyer.
Just out of curiosity, about what percentage do we find of vapes coming through?
I don't have a percentage, I have a number. Okay. Okay, so I don't have a percentage, I have a number. And so it's kind of a combination of things. We typically have For like marijuana type vapes, we found approximately 62. For tobacco inhalant vapes, we find approximately 16. It's important to note that it's a combination of things that happen, that are in their bags. It's not necessarily this item that's setting it off specifically.
And do we confiscate that?
Yes, we follow our discipline procedures when we go through that process.
Clerk Meyer?
I just want to say thank you for the data. I really appreciate how thorough you all have been. I remember when we were first voting on this, that was a key component that we really wanted. So it's really cool to see it all, the breakdown. And then along those same lines, I also remember one other component we talked about was also like tardiness, if there was any effect. Have y'all noticed the effect, like in that aspect? Like, I know it's a weird spot because like if you're already running late, you're probably going to be late by the weapon detection system. So I wonder how you all classified that. And then, so that's my first part of the question. And then also, if a student is late because the line's already long, like in the beginning of the school year, are zero or first hour teachers respecting that pass that's a given, that's separate from a regular tardy pass?
What we found is that after that first week of school last school year, we have not had any students tardy because of the system. They are tardy because they are tardy to campus.
Except the upperclassmen were all tardy on Monday.
Any further questions? All right, well, thank you so very much. The next item is 7C, the 2026-2027 Phoenix Union Organizational Chart. Superintendent Andrade.
Okay, thank you, President Pastor, members. Wanted to bring with you the organizational chart with some of the changes I know you've heard about a little bit tonight from Ms. Casillas and maybe from others. I want to kind of take it in chunks because it's really not a huge change, but it is, it's a mindset change, really. First of all, we have taken our 7 executive directors, and 4 of them are now outward-facing towards the campuses in regions. They are regional executive directors, Region 1, 2, 3, 4. We kept it simple, not by ward, but by schools and number of students served. And so the executive director for talent, SFS, to teaching and learning, there is no more executive director for those 3 areas. Those directors, if you're a director in talent, in SFS, or in teaching and learning, you now report straight to your chief in that area. You are more than competent. We believe in you. Directors are at the same level as principals, and they are more than capable of running their departments. Still content area, still executive directors of content are over safety and marketing. Nothing has changed there. Over tech and transportation, there's still an executive director. Nothing has changed there. And over finance, the payroll, we definitely want to pay people, accounts payable, budget, nothing has changed there. You might notice that the 4 regional executive directors are all former principals with strong leadership background and experience, some in Phoenix Union and some outside. Our EDs do report to a chief, but so again, a lot of people ask, why did we do this? Truly, our customers are the campuses. And we exist at CEE to serve our campuses. And so this was a way we could provide that direct support and outward-facing support, whether that's coaching, support, or systems improvement directly to the leaders of those campuses. It's a direct phone call right away when you need help, when you have a question, when you don't understand why the E part is not moving, whatever it may be. You've got an executive director there that knows how to navigate a campus and knows how to navigate the complexity of these 5 floors, 6 if you count the basement. So again, they're there to coach and help our leaders navigate what sometimes can be a really bureaucratic, compliance-driven, messy system known as CEE. We also serve, they also serve to lead in systems improvement for campuses. So they meet regularly to say, hey, did your principal ask this? Mine asked this. This is a common problem across the system, and so how do we address that? And so they're sharing insights with each other constantly. At the end of the day, my goal was to bridge the divide between the campus and CEE, and letting these executive directors kind of serve as that conduit in between, because sometimes you're busy on a campus. You don't have time to chase a piece of paper or a travel rec or whatever it may be, right? And you've got someone there that knows CEE, that knows exactly who to call. That's half the battle sometimes, and can get that moving for a campus. Really, at the end of the day, I wanted to increase customer service to our campus, expertise to coaching to our newer principals, and even sometimes our veteran principals, and improve the efficiency to our customers who are the campuses. Also in this shift was safety, which was so graciously taken on by Richard Franco. Richard's always done a huge component of safety with emergency comms, crisis intervention, media support, staging. I could go on. And so this was a natural transition for him, but he has just jumped right in, learning still and asking the right questions, and I am confident he will lead safety. Lastly, I will say that this frees up a little bit of space in some areas. When I first came to this district, there was a lot of cry out for a talent revamp, really since day one of taking on this position. Since then, behind the scenes, we have done multiple talent audits and really learned a lot about our systems, some that were archaic and some that were smooth. And all the while, I am confident that we've made a lot of progress on our systems. But through this process, we've relied primarily on extra support and expertise from consultants. They have provided an incredible support with technical expertise around the systems that we use, whether that be Frontline or iVisions, and really helping build the capacity of our talent team, which is small but mighty. And, you know, honestly, this frees up some space to look at the next iteration of talent and what does talent need to move it to the next level across the board, while providing regional support to our campuses at the same time. So I look forward to bringing to you maybe a job description or something that will help fulfill, because we cannot live on consultants forever. And so we've got to make that shift, and to supporting our people and ensuring they're healthy and well, and their needs are met as well. So we're moving in that direction, but I did want to provide the backdrop for this leadership structural change, and it really is to be campus-facing support. Incidentally, Mesa also tried it. He stole our idea, I think. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if their model looks exactly like ours, but it's that same idea. They may call them area superintendents, but the idea is that the closer to the campuses you are, the more you remember what it's like on those campuses, and you can help them and support them. So I want to just take a moment, take my hat off and my gratitude for Alyssa Tarkington, Leticia Avalos, Manny Silvas, and Tony Camp. I don't even see them anymore. They're on 5 to the elevator, if they even come in at all, because they are boots on ground. I sometimes check the system and say, hey, do you know what's going on at this guy? On it, already on it. The principal called. So it's working. They collaborate. They still come together. But it's great to see them so involved and being able to use all their talent and their expertise with some of our newer leaders, and really getting everyone up to speed. Also want to thank Laura Tejas for providing them with that guidance and leadership. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Any questions, colleagues? Nope. Representative Marquez.
Thank you, Board President Pastor Rivera. Superintendent Andrade, I believe 2 superintendents ago, there was a model of a deputy superintendent that was sort of second in command of the district, and correct me if I'm wrong, and then under the previous superintendent, we moved to the chief model. So I'm excited to see the regional executive directors, but I wonder if you could sort of walk me through your thought process of sort of thinking about sort of a second in command deputy superintendent, and like in this scenario with the three chiefs, if you're out of the office, or if there's an medical reason or whatever reason you're out, like who's running the district in your absence?
Well, it's usually whoever draws the short straw. No. Honestly, every single one of my chiefs is capable of running the district, and they have in our absence, whether that be the Council of Great City Schools or really that's pretty much, unless it's a vacation, the only time I travel. And again, each one of them has traveled with me or has been gone at times, and they're a pretty dynamic team that each bring a different level of expertise. But again, if we're looking at a leader that's specifically focused around people, it would make sense to reorg the chiefs. We just have not gotten there yet.
Thank you. President Pastor Rivera, Superintendent Andrade. And then looking at the talent column here, it looks like there's two positions with the same title, talent director, and then there's specific talent directors for certified and classified talent. Can you sort of explain the difference between those two positions and I guess all four of them?
I know that, like for example, Mr. John Doherty oversees a lot of the administrative talent issues. I know that Ms. Chandra Alexander obviously is the certified, Michaela Jackson is the classified, and then I'm going to let Dr. Allen talk a little bit about the talent of Dina Williams and how she contributes to the team through recruitment, and I think she jumps in just about with everybody, but I'll let you go ahead and talk about that.
Thank you, President Pastor Rivera, Representative Marquez. Yes, we have 4 talent directors. So as you can see on the org chart, we have one that's over the certified staff primarily, one that's over the classified staff. Does not mean that they don't do other things in addition to that. Mr. Doherty primarily oversees the administration, if there are issues with administration and supporting admin through the talent process. He also oversees external partnerships, our university partnerships, our health and wellness department within the division. And then Ms. Dina Williams is another director. She oversees primarily our specialists who work with the hiring process, the onboarding of all our new employees. She handles the technical components of our frontline system. She's been probably the one working the closest with the talent consultants on rebuilding some of our systems within Frontline to alleviate hiring administrators at the campuses and in our divisions, allowing them ownership of the hiring process online now instead of doing everything by paper. So she has been championing a lot of that work. And then Mr. Doherty and Ms. Williams, whenever there are an overabundance of issues with either the classified personnel or certified personnel, they support the other directors as well to pick up some of those caseloads.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. President Pastor Rivera, just one more comment. And I'll just say, I think I appreciate all the improvements that we've made in talent. And I think there's probably still more work to do as we figure out what is the right fit for talent or human resources or a chief people officer in the district. And I think the consultants, sounds like they've been really helpful to figure out how do we navigate the process last year of going through rifts and then, making sure that some of the issues that I think as board members we hear about from the previous administration as you've transitioned into this role are still maybe some frustration. So I think as you think about this as superintendent, for next school year, I still would like to see, because I believe each of these talent directors are former principals, but I would like to see sort of an external HR person that can kind of come in with a set of eyes that are not the same set of eyes that a principal might look at things, but really just from a true HR professional background, sort of oversee, this as a department is my recommendation.
Thank you. We are exploring that now. I know I've been in collaboration with Board Member Oliver on that and really searching for this. I hope it's not a unicorn, but someone that really wants to contribute to the educational expertise. We did do a survey around the valley of HR directors, and so many of them are exactly what you're describing. They're principals that went through the ranks and just worked their way up and went through their trainings, and whether it's SHRM or however they did their trainings, and that's where they work. I did find one in Peoria, and she's actually now the interim superintendent. But prior to that, she was the chief over human resources. She came from the healthcare sector. And, but then when I really got talking, I found out that she did come up through the ranks. She was actually an alumni of Peoria. She came up through the ranks and was a director in HR. And then when their superintendent left, she left with him and went into the private sector. Many years later, fast forward, a chief position opens and she rejoins the Peoria family, and now she's the interim superintendent. So she actually is a little bit of both, right? She's a little bit of corporate and a little bit of coming up through the ranks. But again, she actually holds a JD degree, but never practiced law either. So she's a lot like Board Member Oliver. But yeah, we will continue to really hone in on exactly what we're looking for that would bring talent to that next level. And we're in the process now of doing that in preparation for next school year.
Board Member Cross.
President Pastor Rivera and Board, I'd like to say I love this executive director with the different regions to the schools. I mean, you guys will have your hands on the campuses. You'll be there. You're going to feel it and know what's going on. I am so excited about that. That's going to bring CEE and the campuses closer and let CEE know what's going on those campuses. So I'm real excited about this particular move with the reorganization. So, and I also know these people to be very much in tune with reading what's happening out there.
And as we move closer to launching the Advanced Technical Center, our own EVIT of sorts, or WestMech, that type of collaboration with the campuses is going to be even more important. I used to joke and ask, when you ask a teacher, what do you teach? The true teacher says, well, I teach the most beautiful kids. Like I teach ninth graders or mixed grades, or they talk about the students. And then sometimes we get caught in secondary when we say, well, like I teach chemistry. Well, you teach chemistry to students, right? Students first. And I think sometimes when we put things in compartments like student and family services and teaching and learning, we become siloed. And I wanted to try to break that down a little bit. And it's not because people weren't doing their jobs, but we need to turn our focus back to the campuses more than have all the confidence in the world in our directors. They are so talented, and they know what they're doing. They know their areas. And I'm confident that our chiefs will guide them appropriately. And in the meantime, we've got some pretty talented executive directors out there serving our schools and helping our leaders.
Any further questions or comments? Clerk Meyer.
Yes, President Pastor Rivera and Ms. Andrade. I have two questions. First, I just want to make sure, since I know district has often already been traveling campus to campus, and I see that now under this regional model, the new directors have to be traveling more and more. So I'm curious if we're compensating for their mileage reimbursement given the new added responsibilities.
President Pastor, Clerk Meyer, yes, directors and above get all mileage. And directors shouldn't have to be traveling more, but they should about be the same. It's the executive directors, if we find they're traveling too much and not starting their day where they live, or it just is going to really depend there. Then we can revisit that for executive regional directors, because that is fair. They are driving more, I bet.
Okay, thank you. And yeah, I think I was leaning towards the regional directors. I'm still getting used to the new titles. And then I was hoping if we can have this organizational chart with the names added, like emailed to us separately, because the one on board docs and our own files doesn't have the names.
Representative Marquez.
Yeah, thanks, President Pastor Rivera, Superintendent Andrade. Can you hear me? Just on the regional model, it looks like Region 1 has a principal coach, but the other regions do not. Is there a reason, or how did that happen?
That is for there is no reason for that really, other than Leticia was the previous executive director over leadership, and so she will evaluate Miss Dana Cook, the principal coach. But again, they're all one team, and actually Dana works in a variety of capacities across all of the regions. So no, Leticia doesn't keep her all to herself, but she does get to evaluate her with input from the team.
Any further questions, colleagues? Perfect. All right, the next item is 11B, approval of revised governing board policy DJE, bidding, purchasing, and procedures on first reading. Superintendent Andrade.
Yes, tonight you see an opportunity. We can take it to a second read, or we can go ahead and motion it, adopt it on the first read. It's already approved at the federal government level, the state level. Just moving that threshold from $9,999 all the way up, so from $10,000 to $15,000 before schools or district office needs to get the quotes. So again, we're fine either way, but we're excited about this change, and we hope that it can be more efficient for the smaller purchases for our campuses, and just wanted to provide that background. It's a change that's been in effect for a little while now, and we're just catching up with our policies.
Well, I'll motion to approve the revised governing board policy. Is there a second?
Second.
On first read, yes.
Are we waiving the second read? Is that your
Yes,
motion?
I'm motioning to approve on first read.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made by myself and seconded by Board Member Cross. Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Representative Marquez?
I would prefer to wait until the second read, unless there's an urgent reason to do it on first read.
Superintendent Andrade?
I'll defer to Dr. D'Alba. I know that it would speed up things in procurement as we start the school year, but other than that, whether it has to wait till September, it's not. If you want to address that, go ahead.
Representative Marquez, President Pastor Rivera, the reason for the recommendation to waive the second reading is it's just a threshold change that's already been adopted in the USFR. And it would allow us, like the superintendent mentioned, it would allow us to be more efficient and quicker and not have to go through an entire quote process for those items. We have quite a few items that are always kind of at like 10,000, 10,100.
I understand the policy, and I think we should, come in line with the federal guidelines. I just think as a matter of principle, unless there's an urgent reason between now and September, we should avoid waiving the second reading in case there was zero public comment tonight, in case there's any public comment on this matter in September. That's why I prefer to wait until September.
Board Member Oliver?
This was on board docs, correct? Okay. So what would be the reason? Because if people had public comment, it was listed on board docs, they could have come tonight and they did not. I just, I'm going to have to disagree with you, Representative Marquez, because I just don't think we need to delay the operation of the district, for public comment when it was on board docs. And if somebody had, some questions or concerns, this was the time to come and bring them forward, so.
Board Member Cross?
I agree with Board Member Oliver. I can't see the delay is going to do any good. It's just going to delay the paperwork that they have to wait or getting things through. It's mute at this point.
Well, we have a motion on the floor. It's been made by myself and seconded by Board Member Cross. On the motion, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Please
Nay.
indicate by...
Nay.
Motion carries. All right. Next item is 11C, repeal governing board policy ACA, sexual harassment. Is there a motion to repeal governing board policy ACA?
So moved.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Motion has been made by Board Member Oliver and seconded by myself. Is there any discussion? Board Member Oliver, okay, perfect. On the motion, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 I didn't hear everybody. Can we make sure?
Aye.
Perfect. Motion carries. The next items are for information only, no action required. Receipt of revised governing board regulations, ACAR Title 9, sexual harassment, repeal governing board regulation, ACAR, sexual harassment, receipt of revised governing board regulations, JJIB, RB, interscholastic sports, and repeal governing board exhibit, ACAE, sexual harassment. The item is information only, though no action is required. Receipt of governing board regulations, ACAA-R and JJIB, RB, repeal governing board regulation, ACA-R, and exhibit, ACA-E are acknowledged. Item 12A, next meeting. The next regular board meeting of the governing board is scheduled for Thursday, September 3rd, 2026 at approximately 6 p.m. Superintendent's birthday. Item 12B, request for future agenda items. Members, are there any items you would like to recommend to be considered for future board meeting agendas? Meyer and Representative Marquez.
Yes, thank you, President Pastor Rivera. I would like to revisit a discussion regarding officially renaming the Cesar Chavez holiday, because I know last time we had just motioned for that one day, so I think it's something to consider long-term, and even with like data collection from the community again. And then a second calendar consideration in 2020, early 2025, we have voted to approve calendars for the last for a set of 5 years, and I wanted to honor Member Napa's request to have Indigenous Peoples Day / Columbus Day fall on the fall break. And I know we've managed to negotiate that to some extent, so I would like a further discussion on that for future agenda years to honor Indigenous Peoples Day. And then I would like a request for the board members to have a little more information on the VAPA specialist position for 2026 to 2027 decisions and how that job description has changed. And then my last request is a status update for the whole board on the climate resolution action items, and also to celebrate the changes we've already aligned with and have been making. Thank you.
Thank you, Clerk Meyer. Representative Marquez? Any other? Perfect. Item 12C, motion to adjourn. Having concluded our business, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion to adjourn has been made by Board Member Oliver and seconded by Board Member Cross. On the motion, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourned.